So this is the latest film by writer-director James L. Brooks, legend of Hollywood writer. He's written such well-known things as Good as It Gets from the late 90s, which is a big Oscar winner, broadcast news. He did a lot of TV writing in the 70s and 80s on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and Taxi. So the man's an institution. He's been around. He's in his 90s. Now comes Ella McCay, which stars the great Emma Mackey. Um, there's a lot going on here. I'll stick with the present. It takes place in 2008, and she's the lieutenant governor of an unnamed state for some reason. And her boss, played by Albert Brooks, has gotten a job in Washington, and she's next in line to be governor. And she's super excited, and she has all this legislation she wants to do. And Ella McCay is just a spirit. She's a go-getter. She's smart. She's driven. She's just kind of all these things. I hate to use the word Mary Sue, but that's kind of unfortunately how she's been written. And while she has all these political aspirations, there's a ton going on in her personal life. Her estranged father comes out of the woodwork, played by Woody Harrelson, seeking forgiveness for past wrongs. She has a strange relationship with her younger brother, who's a bit of a shut-in and has been out of contact for a while. Her husband's a bit of a skeezy social climber for some reason. And all these also mixed with flashbacks to her teenage version of herself, played by the same character. They have 30-year-olds playing teenagers in this movie, and it's real funny. All that to say, this movie's real bad. This might be the worst movie I've seen all year, and we're going to have a fun time talking about it. Zach, what did you think?
So Ella McCay is really bad. Ella McCay is really bad. And it's bad, like, not because it isn't endearing, because it is. I think the story is endearing, and the character of Ella is kind of played well by Emma Mackey. I like the people in this. I just think Brooks just has not got the gas he used to have, and that's okay. He was born in 1937, dog. Like, I don't expect him to have it. Notably, Scorsese is just 5 years behind him, born in 1942, and he's still making movies. But even still, like, I think this is a miss from James L. Brooks, and that's okay. That's okay. Like, I'm not big on his movies, but it just makes for a long 2 hours, man. Like, it is a shame Ella McCay is as boring as it is, because it feels just like the longest movie in the whole world. And while there are a lot of swings and laughs, and a few of them hit for sure. I do want to say, like, I had some old folks in my theater. They were laughing, dog. Like, this movie is for somebody for sure. But also, like, I had a couple, at least one walkout for sure. I think two. People who just left about 2/3 into the movie just because it's like, this is awkward and boring and the dialogue is stilted. It reminds me of, like, just the way, like, the dialogue just doesn't feel like the way real people talk. And people have been bickering about this online. Some say, no, that's exactly how people are. Others are like, no, dude, it's like Shyamalan-esque dialogue, or like it's like the way people talk in, like, Highest to Lowest, like this, like, melodrama kind of space that just is not, like, real, and it just feels kind of phony and like, I don't know. What did you think? Like, what do you got?
So this is like a time capsule movie. Like, this is written like it's from the 90s, and it kind of takes place, because it, like I said, takes place in 2008, but the young version is in 1990, and it reminds me of things like Home Alone or Father of the Bride, or these, like, we used to have these movies that were real fantastical in a way, like Kevin McAllister's lives in this giant mansion, but it, like, you don't really think about that. But now our films are so much more grounded and a little bit more true to life. And it's just like something. It's a weird movie out of the 90s. Like, the Ella McCay, her 16-year-old self is like the smartest, most brilliant person ever. I was like, no 16-year-old is that smart or that clever. There's also just really strange plot elements that are played for laughs. So Woody Harrelson plays her father, and the movie opens with a flashback scene when she's 16 years old, and her mother, played by Rebecca Hall, is kind of crying, and it turns out her father's a philanderer, and he's been cheating and constantly cheating on his wife, and she pulls her mother aside, and she's like, Mom, why do you keep going back to him? And she's just, I just love him so much, I can't leave him ever. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, we don't write, like, no one writes characters like that, especially female characters in 2025. And
Right.
it's almost like you have a man trying to write a strong woman, and in doing so, he actually does the opposite.
Right. Like it reminds me of the way other directors try, like their dialogue just kind of doesn't fit real good in like the way we normally anticipate dialogue. It feels outdated. And it is. Like I saw a lot of people online saying this feels like a script that was written 15 years ago and then left in a drawer. And then somebody just pulled it out 4 days before shooting and was like, "All right, here we go. Let's just hit this right here." And like I think people gave a lot of space to Brooks. Like he's got a big career in The Simpsons. He's made some great films. Like I think nobody red penned him. You know what I mean? They're like, this works. I think the cast works really hard. I think Emma Mackey is doing a lot of work to try to pull up what's here. Like, and she's giving a lot of like, she's doing a lot of like things with her mouth and like eyebrows, a lot of like ticks and kind of little things to be this like strong-willed individual who just kind of has the whole world against her. There is a bit of like idealism here in this 2008 world where it's like we all Kavner's got a great line at the beginning. Back in 2008 when we all used to get along with one another. You know what I mean? Terrible setting for a movie. Hard to relate to. Nobody gets along now. What part of Ella's biggest problems is like old politicians that just can't like get along with her, and how like if the young people could just appeal to like the older generation, you know what I mean, and they could connect, then things would work. Like she really tries to pull that up, and it kind of works, but she's just limited by what the movie's doing with her character. Jamie Lee Curtis is a lot of fun as Aunt Helen. There's actually a really great scene with the two of them towards the end of Act 1 where they have this like tearful phone call as things are getting stressful in Ella's life, and I was like, okay, yeah, here we go. Woody Harrelson's kind of funny. He's only in a couple scenes. Ayo Edebiri is hardly in the film. I honestly can't believe she gets a poster credit like for how little she's in the movie. Kumail Nanjiani is fine as a local driver, you know, and security guard and like town cop. I think people are good for what's here, but like they can't save this like energy that the film is just dragging.
For me, none of these jokes landed. Like in my theater, there were a few chuckles here and there, but no one like the laughs just didn't land at all, which always feels really awkward. To me, the humor is also incredibly outdated. Her father being a philanderer and like sex addict essentially is played for laughs. Like she's like, oh, he's Woody Harrelson's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I slept with your college best friend. I'm sorry, I'm here to make amends, and it's like played for laughs. I was like, that's really not really funny anymore. That was maybe funny 30 years ago. There's also things like she accidentally Ella McCay accidentally drinks like some THC lemonade, and so she's like, the governor accidentally gets high. What a scandal. And I was like, that was funny in 2000, maybe in a stoner comedy, but it's just so out of place. There's a place where Jamie Lee Curtis like yells out the window, did he wear a condom? And again, the sex humor, like that's funny 25 years ago. Not now. It's just so out of place and not funny at all. And oh God, it was painful.
That specific condom line got 2 laughs in my theater though, from some old folks who were like, ha ha, like I could hear them back there chuckling. And I think that's part of who this is for. Like older folks, like who got a rosy look backwards. You know what I mean? They got that rosy nostalgia, rose-colored glasses. And like, I can see that for sure. I think there's some stuff in here that works. And because it's coming from an older director, I think they kind of connect in that way, this unspoken kind of energy. But number 2, and this one's really interesting, like there's this funny, like glorious sort of meme-ification of Ella McCay that's happening over on Twitter where people are like talking about going and seeing it in the middle of the day and nobody being in there and doing goofy poses out in front of the poster where they're trying to hold up their shoe just like she's putting it on the poster. And like, I don't know. I think people like, there's this funny energy of like, hey man, let people make weird movies sometimes. Like it's not a bad movie for sure, but it just does not fit in like the shape of any other movie of like the past 5 years. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of respectable. Like there's a bit of energy to it that you're like, I definitely haven't seen anything like this recently, but I don't think it's the worst film of the year either. You know,
I I think it's in contention for it personally.
Okay.
All right. It definitely is for the crowd if that hasn't seen a movie in like 5 years. Yes. I had an older crowd in my theater as well who was commenting the entire way through, which I think added to the ambiance of Ella McCay. There's things that like just fundamental things. The plot makes no sense. She's like on this mission to get some legislation done. I think that's the main plot, but then there's all this family stuff and there's like 5 subplots going on.
Oh, I figured it was about the reporter blackmailing her. I thought that was the main plot. That's a
That's like
plot.
plot number 6. That's plot
Yes.
number 6, you know.
Yeah.
But like she's worried about her brother. She goes as the governor with her security. She goes to his like little trashy apartment twice and has 2 very long scenes where she like doesn't leave this apartment. And there's just she's too busy with these subplots, and then the main plot gets lost. Yeah, someone's trying to blackmail her. There's political things that are it's just like it's all over the place. It's like they didn't know what order to cut the film.
Yeah, there's definitely problems in editing. There's a scene when she first goes and meets her brother in Act 2 at his apartment, kind of has an awkward encounter, ends up staying a while, and then leaves to go to work. And then she gets to her office and gets a text from him and immediately turns around and goes back. And now we're back at the apartment. The lighting's the same. They're in the same outfits. And it's like, why did we leave in the middle of this? And it's because something happened. Something got cut out of order. We had some series of events that was in the script, and then we cut it for time. Julie Kavner gains and loses like 40 pounds in this movie. Inexplicably. The first time we see her, she's like rail thin, and she looks like she's sitting in a nursing home, and she's like talking to us as the narrator in what seems like flashback. And then we flash to her telling us about her time with Ella McCay, and she's like, God, she's like heavier, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh, this is weird. And then later in the movie, it cuts back to her being thin again, and I'm like, what? Hold on a second. Like, when did this happen? And I think her thin self shows up in the storyline with Ella when she's supposed to be the heavy version. So I don't know if they got that in reshoots. I don't know if she had a surgery. She's older. I don't know what happened, but there's some things that happen in this movie that are out of order for sure. Like something happened in the editing room that they had to cut and switch and change.
Yeah, yeah, the plots are all over the place, and I feel like there's not really any defining characteristics of Ella McCay. It's not like if I said, oh no, I can't remember Bridget Jones. Like you hear a name like that, you immediately think, oh, Bridget Jones is this and that, and you know she's a character of this, and I think that's what we're supposed to get from Ella McCay. But she doesn't really have any defining features, and she's also like she's kind of flawless. Like she doesn't change. She doesn't go on a journey. She doesn't like, you know, learn the true meaning of Christmas or something like that. She's just kind of the same character from beginning to end, and some things kind of get solved in her life, but she doesn't go on a journey of any kind. It's very strange.
Yeah, like not a lot of character growth. She's kind of just always right, but not in a way that's like contrite. Like I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, like Ella McCay's an odd movie, and I think we should probably wrap it up at that. Not a lot to say about the soundtrack. Not a lot to say about how it's shot. I'd say it's too long for sure. It's 2 hours, and dude, it feels like 3. Good God, I got out of that movie. It was like 7:00, and I felt like I had the whole night ahead of me. But we should wrap it up. Any other thoughts or recommendations?
I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend Ella McCay?
Hard pass on this, man. I thought this was really bad. It's a movie from 30 years ago. The performances are fine. It's not funny. It's supposed to be like an adult comedy drama. None of the comedy works. The drama is weirdly from 30 years ago. Again, it's like, haha, your dad cheats on your mom all the time. Isn't that so funny? It's too long. It's all over the place. It's definitely maybe for people who don't watch movies and just need something like watch it with your grandparents. It'll be fine. Watch it with your parents. But hard pass from me.
Yeah, it's a bit of a time capsule movie, and it feels like a script from a decade ago, and it's set a while back too, so it works. If you like it, I think older folks will like it. I think like odd cinephiles will like it, who just like weird mid-budget movies that don't ever do that good. Otherwise, I worry it's going to be in a DVD bin. You know what I mean? Like I think it's going to be like a $5 Walmart buy. But Ella McCay, wait for it to come streaming. Don't bother. No rush to go out to the theaters. And yeah, that's Ella McCay. We 2 trailers to talk about this week. Andy, what do we call this segment?
It's time for the trailer park.